All right, let's talk about the NFL scouting combine here. We can go through the players that not really they didn't work out, but or they like literally didn't work out at the combine. I'm just reading it as it says here. We had Tyler Linderbaum. He didn't work out at the combine. Same thing with Matt Corral due to an injury. And then Malik Willis, he threw but didn't run. Now, I don't know because Desmond Ritter's 4.5 was very, very impressive. But if Willis ran, I still think he would be the fastest quarterback in this draft class who ran at that NFL scouting combine. And then Evan Neal, I think his presence just being there, rose his stock on the list. You've seen him in a lot of mock drafts now going number one, if not in the top 3. But he didn't do most of the drills or run the 40, I think. So, again, just he didn't work out in this draft. Let's go to some positives now. Let's go to the players that stood out. Well, QBs, Malik Willis, Desmond Ridder, 2 guys I just mentioned. Malik Willis's and Desmond Ritter's deep ball, tremendous. Great arm for both of them. We knew this already in tape, and I think what Charles Davis was mentioning in the NFL Combine, I think it was him or one of the NFL Network guys, were saying, here's what the Combine is for. We watch all these guys on tape. Maybe it was Daniel Jeremiah, actually. But he was saying we watch all these guys on tape. The Combine is just confirming that what they do on tape is what they can do. And I think Desmond Ridder and Malik Willis did that. We saw it on tape that they had a good deep ball. They just confirmed with us that they can throw very, very deep in front of a bunch of NFL scouts. So good for them. So those are the top QBs that I definitely saw.
Yeah, like you mentioned, Willis, Ridder definitely boosted their stock. I thought Kenny Pickett didn't really boost it or hurt it necessarily. He had an average time at the combine. E.J. Perry, quarterback out of Brown, definitely boosted his stock. Probably was a borderline 6th, 7th round pick, maybe boosts himself up to a 3rd, 4th, 5th round pick, possibly. So, got to show some love for the later round guys as well who boosted their stock. Wide receivers, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, Sky Moore, Christian Watson. Those are some guys that stood out. Christian Watson did amazing. He's 6'4". He ran, I believe, in the 4.3s. He's did great in the vertical, great on the broad jump. Sky Moore, blistering fast 40, and also had a very good day in terms of the drills. Those 2 guys kind of more under the radar. And then Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, the 2 Ohio State guys, certainly did well in the drills. Both ran 4.39 40s, or I believe it was 4.38 and 4.39 respectively. And both definitely solidified themselves as, first round caliber players as well. So those 2 guys definitely boosted their stock as well as Moore and Watson. So it was good to see them. We didn't see certain receivers. Obviously, Jameson Williams was not because he tore his ACL in the national championship. So there were certain receivers that we didn't get to see, unfortunately. So that wasn't the best. That was a bit unfortunate. I'm kind of combined this with the tight ends. Trey McBride, Greg Dulcich, both look very good. And the tight end out of Virginia Tech. Or was it Virginia? Maybe it was out of Virginia. 6'7". He ran like a 4.6 something. He looked really good in drills too. I forgot his name. When Josh is done, I'll mention it.
Yeah, I think Drake Julchutz really stood out to me from UCLA. I thought he was really good in drills. He was really good blocking. Trey McBride, same thing. So, but we knew this already. Again, they're just confirming. On to the offensive lineman. I'm sure Alex will have a say about this. We had Trevor Penning, probably the guy who went up the list the highest. Then you got Ike Ekwonu, who, again, we already knew this guy was a top 5, top 10 pick in the NFL draft. Just confirming with the scouts saying, yep, I can do this. And then you have Charles Cross, again, another guy from Alabama, right? Cross. We know
Mississippi State. Evan Neal's from Alabama.
We know how I'm just moving right along. Just ignore that completely. Charles Cross out of Mississippi State. We know how good he is. Another top 10 talent. Just confirming with us that he is that good. And then, am I able to do my Breece Hall little talk, or you have that tight end?
You can. Just want tight end Jelani Woods out of Virginia. Very good, impressive performance. Definitely someone you could see raising his draft stock as well. Impressive 40 time.
All right, now I'll do it. Iowa State, Breece Hall. It's a very good running back. I'm just going to leave it at that. I really like him. Whatever team takes him, as long as it's not like an NFC East rival, I'm going to root for that team there with Breece Hall in the backfield. I don't know why, But ever since I started watching tape on him and we did the top running backs in the NFL draft video, he's caught my eye. I haven't looked back
Josh
since.
has been gushing about this guy for about 2 months now.
No, it's been like a month, excuse me, and he's very good.
A month and a half.
Also, Kyron Williams, the guy who Alex forced us to put in the top running backs list, was one of the worst running backs at this combine. I think he had one of the worst running back 40 times, if I'm not mistaken, or the other drills he failed. And I'm sorry, I had to shout that out.
He did not fail. He had a bad 40 time. He did not have a great combine, but I think his tape speaks for itself.
It does. Well, we'll have to wait and see. Defensive tackle, actually, you want to do defensive tackles, Alex? I did running backs.
Yes, I'll talk about D tackles.
Go for it.
Jordan Davis, obviously, I don't even know what to say. A 340-pound man running at 4.78. Ridiculous. It's just ridiculous what that man did. And I think I wouldn't necessarily say he boosted his draft stock because I think we all kind of knew he was a beast. But, I think it certainly helped. I think he could borderline be a top 10 pick. I don't think there's any teams in the top 10 that necessarily need a nose tackle. And that would be the problem. And also, I think it's just a bit too high to take a nose tackle in terms of positional value. Devonte Wyatt, he kind of got overshadowed by Jordan Davis, but I thought he had a great combine too. He had a great Senior Bowl. Devonte Wyatt is a player that I really, really like. I think he's extremely underrated, kind of like Trayvon Walker was, who we'll get to in a minute. But, Trayvon Walker was very much under the radar until the combine because that Georgia defense, you got so many great players, you kind of get hidden sometimes if you're more doing the dirty work. And Devonte Wyatt is just a very, very efficient player, whether that be in the run game, rushing the passer, etc. Another player I really, really like. He did really well. And Travis Jones, the Senior Bowl standout from UConn, also had a very solid day.
I just realized Trevor Penning at the Senior Bowl is really good too, right? Wasn't he also like pushing guys to the ground, or was that another offensive tackle?
Trevor Penning won the Senior Bowl. He was probably the biggest winner out of everyone.
Sorry, go ahead.
And I was saying he had a great combine as well.
He was the offensive tackle that was getting into fights with like the edge rushers, like literally shoving them into the ground, right?
Yes, that was him. Yes, that was Penning, yeah. He's a nasty guy.
His
physicality, he's lovely, but
though,
on the field he's nasty.
Yeah, well, like that's what you want to see out of your offensive tackle, though. Like that's physicality, toughness. It's checking all the boxes for those teams that need an offensive tackle, aka the New York Giants. We'll have to wait and see. But then we move on to edge. Trayvon Walker, Aiden Hutchinson. I don't know if you mentioned those guys already. Again, I would say Trayvon Walker lifted where he was already high up, first round talent, but I feel like he just cemented himself there. I think we all knew about Aiden Hutchinson. He's been like the top edge since the beginning, since before the Senior Bowl, I would say.
What I would say about Hutchinson is he had that 6.73 three-cone time, and a lot of people are questioning his athleticism, his bend. Is it good enough? Does he have the upside? He blew everyone away. And he had, I believe it was the record for the quickest three-cone ever by an edge. So truly impressive by Aiden Hutchinson. I think he solidified himself as a top 2 pick.
No, I agree with you, Alex. And then linebacker, we didn't really have like a one standout guy. There wasn't anything that caught my mind specifically. I don't think there was anyone for you as well. So then we can just go to the cornerbacks. Sauce Gardner. I really like this guy. Well, because of his first name, obviously.
It was saucy.
I know. You have to make the joke. But also his tape, too, does stand out. And Roger McCreary, who I didn't think of like specifically. I don't know if you pulled that name out, Alex, but Sauce Gardner definitely stands out to me. A cornerback, maybe that could be for the Giants if they have. I think 5 and 7 is a little too early for him, but I would say no. You don't think so?
For Sauce Gardner?
Yeah,
I think Sauce
5's early. Maybe go 7.
I think he can go as early as 3. I think he's that good. I think Sauce Gardner is a damn good football player, but I do have concern. I think the only concern with him was his athletic ability, and he proved it at the combine. So I think 7 is a good value.
We also thought Kyle Hamilton could go number 1, but after his 40 time, he could go 27 now, Alex.
He's not.
No, that's a complete joke. Kyle Hamilton is still an absolute beast, whether you like it or not. Guy is one of the most insane prospects in this draft class. Overall, it doesn't matter what position you're talking about. 40 times isn't going to change that.
Yeah, and Roger McCreary, a corner out of Auburn. Only reason I mentioned him because a lot of people were saying he was going to run in like the 4.6s for almost some people. I heard someone say he was going to run in the 4.7s because another guy like Sauce Gardner, who people were like he's not really athletic enough. He ran, I believe, in the high 4.4s, so not as impressive as Sauce Gardner, but still another guy who rose his stock, proved that he was going to be able to keep up with some of these NFL receivers. So good for him. And he's another guy who I think slowly boosting his stock. I think he's a mid-first round guy now.
And you could just go to the final safety position. That's fine.
Safety. I thought there was.
Oh, we're not doing special teams? What's going on?
I mean, I will mention actually special teams, but Lewis Seen on that Georgia defense, he really showed out. I believe he ran 4.4-ish in this at the combine. He looked great in the drills, and I think he's starting to solidify himself as the number 2 behind Kyle Hamilton. Obviously, like you mentioned, Kyle Hamilton, 4.59, 40, a bit disappointing. Did well in the other drills, though, and I don't think it really hurts his stock too much. He's one of those guys you just look at the tape, kind of like even if Hutchinson didn't perform well, it's kind of like you just look at the tape. He's good enough.
Lewis Seen had a 4.38 40-yard dash.
Yeah, he was quick. And special teams, punter, Matt Ariza hit that 80-yard bomb. Could he be the highest punter ever
Riley
taken?
Dixon.
The record is 3rd round. I think I have a
Get out of
prediction
here.
He's going to be taken 4th round, Matt Ariza. My prediction. But we'll see.
New England Patriots are always looking for a special teamer in those early rounds. We know how it is, right? They're taking kickers in the 5th round. Didn't they take that kicker in the 5th round a year or two ago, and then they cut him?
No, Bengals did. About the other guy I know who you're talking
the
about.
Patriots
I forget what his name was.
They took like a kicker in the 5th round.
He's not their kicker, though, because Nick Folk.
No, but they cut him. They cut him.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to see Joe Judge influence.
Listen, Bill Belichick. Oh yeah, and Joe Judge is there too. They might be the one choosing the kick, the punter.
Here's what I was saying. I saw someone mention this on Twitter. If Joe Judge and Dave Gettleman were still here for this draft class, at 5 we're drafting Jordan Davis because big hog molly. Dave loves that. And at 7 we're drafting Matt Ariza because the field position switch, bro. It's off the charts. You don't even understand.
All right. So with that, that's going to be our talk of the NFL Combine standouts.